Hello, in today's video, we shall learn in detail about transport in plants. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding about transport of water, minerals, ascent of sap, transpiration, mechanism of opening and closing of stomata, and also the mechanism of uptake of mineral nutrients and translocation of food. Let us start with the introduction to transportation in plants. Transportation in plants may be defined as the movement of water and minerals from the roots to various parts of the plant, and also the movement of food synthesized by the leaves to the entire plant. In a flowering plant, water, mineral nutrients or mineral salts, organic nutrients, etc. are the substances that need to be transported. Water and nutrients required for all metabolic activities are transported upwards from roots to stem, leaves, and growing regions by xylem. Sucrose and amino acids are transported between the leaves and other parts of the plant by phloem. For transporting molecules through the cell membrane, there are two ways: passive transport and active transport. Passive transport is the transport of molecules within and across the cell membrane through a concentration gradient without the use of energy. Active transport is the movement of molecules across the membrane against the concentration gradient with the help of energy. Let us learn about the movement of water, gases, and nutrients. Water and dissolved minerals from the soil are absorbed by the unicellular root hairs. Exchange of gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place through the stomata. Movement of materials within the plant body is of two types: short distance movement and long distance movement. Short distance movement may be intracellular movement, that is, movement of materials within the cell, and intercellular movement, that is, movement of materials between the cells. Example of short distance movement is the movement of water and solutes from one location to another within plant tissues and organs. Long distance movement is the movement of materials from one part to another distant part of the plant. Example, movement of water and minerals away from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant. Transport of sugar or organic food from leaves to other non-green parts. Movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide through stomata to internal tissues for respiration and photosynthesis respectively. The different movements are facilitated by diffusion, osmosis, imbibition, etc. By the way, if you're getting some value out of this video, please like and share the video so that all of us can learn, unlearn, and relearn together. Also, please consider subscribing the channel and press the bell icon to get instant notification of all the upcoming videos. Now, let us understand diffusion. Movement of solute or solvent molecules from region of their higher concentration to region of their lower concentration till they reach a state of equilibrium. Diffusion is a passive and a slow process and is affected by various factors. Rate of diffusion is directly proportional to the difference in concentration of the molecules in the two regions. Rate of diffusion increases with the decrease in density. Rate of diffusion is directly proportional to increase in temperature. Facilitated diffusion. It is the process of spontaneous passive transport of molecules or ions that move down their concentration gradient with the help of transport proteins. Molecules diffuse across the cell membrane with the help of membrane proteins such as channels and carriers. Some channel proteins are open all the time, but others are gated. The channel or gate opens only in response to specific conditions or in the presence of some specific substances. Carrier proteins can change their shape to help a target molecule to cross the membrane. Channel proteins transport molecules much faster than carrier proteins. Three types of facilitated diffusion are symport, antiport, and uniport. Movement of two types of molecules across a membrane in the same direction through protein channel is known as symport. Movement of two types of molecules across a membrane in opposite direction through protein channel is known as antiport. Movement of one molecule across a membrane independent of the other molecules is called uniport. Porins are proteins that cross a cellular membrane and act as a pore. They act as channels through which molecules can diffuse. They allow passage of large biomolecules as per diffusion gradient. Aquaporins are water channel molecules that facilitate water transport through plasma membrane in response to osmotic gradients. Next is imbibition. Imbibition is increase in volume due to absorption of water molecules by solid hydrophilic particles called colloids. Imbibed liquid, water, is referred to as imbibate, and the solid colloidal substance is referred to as imbibent. During seed germination, breaking of seed coat occurs due to imbibition. It is the initial step in seed germination. A water potential gradient between imbibent and liquid imbibate is a precondition for imbibition to take place. Side by side, a force of attraction between imbibent and liquid imbibate is necessary. Increase in temperature brings about an increase in imbibition. Next is water potential. Potential energy of water is called water potential. It may be defined as the difference between chemical potential of water in a system and that of pure water at constant temperature and pressure. Water potential in plant solution is influenced by solute potential pressure potential and gravity potential. Solute potential is the amount by which water potential is reduced. Solute potential depends on the amount of solute in a solution, and it decreases as the concentration of solute increases. It always shows a negative value. It is also known as osmotic potential. Pressure potential refers to the physical pressure exerted by cell membrane. It is also known as wall pressure or turgor pressure. It always shows a positive value. Gravity potential denotes effect of gravity on water potential. Water potential of any solution can be calculated as water potential equal to solute potential plus pressure potential plus gravity potential. Pure water has the highest value of water potential, that is 0 at atmospheric pressure. Water potential regulates the direction of movement of water in plants. Next, let us learn about osmosis. The movement of solvent, water molecules from their region of higher concentration to their region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. Hypotonic solution has high concentration of free molecules of solvent. If the medium is hypotonic compared to the cell cytoplasm, the cell will gain water through osmosis. Hypertonic solution has low concentration of free molecules of solvent. If the medium is hypertonic compared to the cell cytoplasm, the cell will lose water through osmosis. An isotonic solution is one that has the same concentration of solutes both inside and outside the cell. If the medium is isotonic, there will be no net movement of water across the cell membrane. Two types of osmosis are endosmosis and exosmosis. Movement of water through hypotonic solution to cell is known as endosmosis. Movement of water from cell to hypertonic solution is known as exosmosis. Plasmolysis, phenomenon of water loss from cells due to exosmosis, is called plasmolysis. The shrinkage of protoplasm from cell wall is seen when the cell is placed in a hypertonic solution. The stage at which plasmolysis starts is known as incipient plasmolysis. When plasmolyzed cell is placed in hypotonic solution, water enters the cell and the protoplasm regains its original form. This is known as deplasmolysis. Next is water present in soil. They are hygroscopic water, capillary water, gravitational water, combined water, runaway water, water vapor. Capillary water is the only source of water available to plants. Capillary water, along with various nutrient salts dissolved in it, can be easily absorbed by root hairs. Next, let us understand long distance transport of water or mass or bulk flow system. Special system is required for the transport of substances across long distances and at a faster rate. Water, minerals, and food are transported by a mass or bulk flow system. When there is a difference in pressure between 2 points, movement of substances takes place in bulk from one point to another. The hydrostatic pressure gradient may be negative or positive. The bulk movement of substances through the vascular tissues of plants is called translocation. In higher plants, the vascular tissues are xylem and phloem. Xylem helps in translocation of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial parts of the plant. Phloem helps in translocation of both organic and inorganic food from leaves to various parts of the plant. Next, let us look into the types of pathway of water movement in roots. There are two distinct pathways for water movement once it is absorbed by the root hairs. They are apoplast pathway and symplast pathway. Apoplast pathway. Water moves through cell wall and intercellular spaces without crossing any membrane. Apoplast is made up of non-living components. Water is transported from root hair to xylem through the cell wall of intervening cells. The movement of water is continuous except at the Casparian strips of the endodermis, which are impervious to water in the roots. The movement of water in apoplast occurs by passive diffusion and is rapid. The movement is dependent on the gradient and is not affected by the metabolic rate of the cells. This mass flow of water is due to adhesive and cohesive properties of water. Symplast pathway. In symplast pathway, water moves from cytoplasm to cytoplasm via the plasmodesmata. It consists of the living part of the plant, that is, the protoplast. The movement of water occurs by osmosis and the process is slow. The movement of water is down a potential gradient and is affected by the metabolic rate of the cells. Now, let us understand the ascent of sap. The upward translocation of water along with dissolved minerals from roots to the aerial parts of the plant is called the ascent of sap, which takes place through the xylem vessels. The water with dissolved minerals is called sap. Various theories were put forward, but the most accepted theory is transpiration pull or cohesion tension theory. This theory was proposed by Dixon and Joly in the year 1894. Main features of this theory are strong cohesive force of water, continuity of water column in the plant, and ascent of sap due to transpiration pull. Strong cohesive force of water. In the water column, there is strong attraction or cohesion between the water molecules, due to which they cannot be separated from each other easily. There is also attraction between water molecules and the inner walls of tracheids and vessels of xylem, which is known as adhesion. We all know that the walls of xylem ducts are made up of lignin and cellulose, which shows affinity for water. Continuity of water column. It is maintained by the cohesive and adhesive properties of water. The water molecules adhere to the walls of xylem due to its adhesive property, and they remain together and move up as a continuous water column due to its cohesive property. Transpiration pull. During transpiration, water molecules evaporate from the surface of leaves through stomata. The concentration of water gets reduced in mesophyll cells, and diffusion pressure deficit of water in mesophyll cells increases. A negative pressure in xylem vessels pulls the water from the soil. The surface tension of water and capillary action facilitates the movement of water through the plant. Transpiration and guttation are the two physiological events in plants by which they release water to the atmosphere. Next is transpiration. Loss of water in the form of water vapor from the aerial parts of the plant is known as transpiration. There are different types of transpiration. Lenticular transpiration takes place through lenticels present in barks of trees. Water loss is 0.1%. Cuticular transpiration takes place through cuticle covering the epidermis of leaves. Water loss is 3 to 10% of total loss. Stomatal transpiration takes place through stomata present in the epidermis of leaves. Water loss is 90 to 97% of total loss. Let us look into the differences between transpiration and guttation. In transpiration, water is lost in the form of water vapor. In guttation, water is lost in liquid form. In transpiration, water lost is pure water. In guttation, the water contains inorganic and organic solutes. Transpiration occurs through stomata, lenticels, and cuticles. Guttation occurs through hydatodes. Transpiration takes place at high temperature. Guttation takes place during cold hours of night and early morning. Transpiration takes place under dry conditions. Guttation takes place under humid conditions. Excessive transpiration results in wilting. Guttation never results in wilting. Water loss in transpiration is by simple diffusion. In guttation, water loss is not by diffusion. Water just oozes out as small drops. Transpiration can be regulated by regulating the opening and closing of stomata. Since there is no opening and closing mechanism for hydatodes, guttation cannot be regulated. Next is stomata. Stomata are minute pores present in the epidermis of leaves. They help in gaseous exchange during respiration and photosynthesis. Minute pore stoma is surrounded by a pair of guard cells which are kidney-shaped in dicots and dumbbell-shaped in monocots. Each guard cell has a dense cytoplasm with a nucleus and a number of chloroplasts for photosynthesis. Subsidiary or accessory cells surround the guard cells as shown in the diagram. Let us understand the mechanism of opening and closing of stomata. The opening and closing of stomata is controlled by guard cells. During the day, due to endosmosis, the stomata becomes turgid. The turgor pressure stretches the outer thin walls of the guard cells outwards. The inner thick walls are pulled apart, resulting in the opening of stomata. When guard cells lose water by exosmosis, turgidity decreases and the cell becomes flaccid, causing stomatal closure. During daytime, in the presence of light, the guard cells of the stomata photosynthesize with the help of chloroplast, forming sugar. The soluble sugar increases the osmotic concentration of the sap of guard cells. Endosmosis of water takes place from the neighboring cells and the guard cells become turgid. This results in the opening of the stomata. At night or in the absence of light, there is no photosynthesis and the sugar present in the guard cells gets converted into starch. Since starch is insoluble, the osmotic concentration of guard cells decrease. Exosmosis of water takes place from the guard cells and the guard cells become flaccid. This results in the closing of stomata. A high pH favors opening and a low pH favors the closure of stomata. In the presence of light during the day, carbon dioxide concentration of guard cells is lowered due to photosynthesis and hence there is rise in pH. This favors conversion of starch into sugar, which increase the turgor pressure in the guard cells and the stomata open. In the dark, due to respiration, carbon dioxide accumulates in the guard cells, resulting in the fall in pH of the guard cells. This favors conversion of sugar into starch, which decreases the turgor pressure in the guard cells and the stomata close. During transpiration, as water evaporates through the stomata, there is a continuous pull of water molecules into the leaf from the xylem. The forces generated by transpiration creates sufficient pressure which helps to lift water over several meters high. Let us learn about the uptake and transport of mineral nutrients. Plants absorb minerals from the soil through the roots and translocate them to other parts of the plant. There are two mechanisms for the transport of mineral nutrients. They are passive absorption and active absorption. The absorption of minerals without the direct expenditure of metabolic energy is known as passive absorption. When the absorption of minerals takes place with direct expenditure of metabolic energy, it is known as active absorption. It takes place against concentration gradient from lower concentration of salts in soil to higher concentration of salts in cells of roots. Absorption of some mineral salts require carrier molecules to carry ions across the cell membranes. Ions combine with the carrier to form ion carrier complex. The ion is released when it reaches the cytoplasm. For carrying on this process, energy in the form of ATP from respiration is used. From roots, minerals are transported to all parts of the plant by transpiration pull. Next is transport of food. Plants prepare food in the leaves by photosynthesis. In vascular plants, phloem is responsible for transport of food. Translocation of food may be upward, downward, or in lateral directions. Sieve tubes of phloem are arranged in such a way that they form a continuous system throughout the plant. Companion cells provide metabolic support to the sieve tube. Phloem parenchyma is responsible for collection and passing organic solute within the phloem. Let us now understand mass flow hypothesis or Munch pressure hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, mass flow of organic solutes takes place from the site of higher concentration, that is source, to the site of lower concentration, that is sink. Food in the form of glucose is prepared by the leaves in the mesophyll cells during photosynthesis and is converted into sucrose. It enters the sieve tube of phloem by active transportation. A water potential gradient is created due to which there is mass movement of food within the phloem. The sieve plates present in the sieve tube has pores through which there is movement of the cytoplasm. Due to an increase in hydrostatic pressure in the sieve tube, the sap moves through the phloem. At the sink, sugars are actively transported out of the phloem to form various carbohydrates. Therefore, Munch hypothesis states that flow of sap into phloem is controlled by turgor pressure gradient between source and sink. So today we have learned in detail about transport of water and minerals, ascent of sap, transpiration, mechanism of opening and closing of stomata, and also mechanism of uptake of mineral nutrients and translocation of food. I have some practice questions for you. Please share your answers in the comment section below. You can pause the video and write down the questions if you like. Thank you so much for your time and participation. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing the channel and press the bell icon to get instant notification of all the upcoming videos. Also, if you want to discuss any particular topic in biology, please mention that in the comments section below. I'll see you there. Goodbye. All the best.